Good evening, I'm Anne Marie and Scott's in for Felicia tonight. Tonight at 5 we start with the defense and the Delphi murders trial, working today to try to discredit the psychologist that the state called to the stand.
So during her testimony, she told the jurors the suspect confessed to the murders of Abby Williams and Libby German in detail. Our senior investigative reporter Bob Siegel was in court all day listening to this testimony and the cross-examination. And
Bob joins us now live outside the Carroll County Courthouse. Bob?
Hi, Ann and Scott. You might remember yesterday we heard from 8 different prison officials who all said that they heard Richard Allen confess in one form or another to killing Abby Williams and Libby German. Well, today, the testimony that the jury heard was by far the most damning testimony that we've heard against Richard Allen. This testimony came from the prison psychologist who saw Richard Allen every day inside the prison for more than a year. Dr. Monica Walla told jurors that last April, Richard Allen told her, "I killed Abby and Libby, I'm sorry." But it was a month later, during another one-on-one meeting with the psychologist, that she says Allen not only confessed, but gave details of the murders. Walla read from her notes, telling the jury what Allen told her. She said he went to his parents' house in the morning, bought a 6-pack of beer on the way home and drank 3 of those beers, and then bundled up and went to the trails. She said that's where Richard Allen saw Abby and Libby and followed them across the bridge. She said Allen then told her he did something with his gun, which he thought might explain how a cartridge from the gun ended up at the crime scene. And she said Allen told her he instructed Abby and Libby to go down the hill. The psychologist told the jury Allen then said he planned on sexually assaulting Abby and Libby, but he saw a van and got scared, so he told the girls to cross the creek. Wallace said the defendant told her that's where he cut their necks, in her words, and made sure they were dead. Then covered their bodies with branches and returned to his car, staying off the trails so he would not be seen. Wallace said she heard Allen confess to the murder several times, and she also talked about his state of mind during that time period. She acknowledged she diagnosed him with serious mental illness and that he had an abrupt occurrence of psychotic behavior and acted very strange around the time of the confessions. But much of the afternoon was spent talking about the psychologist's strange behavior. During cross-examination, Dr. Walla told the jury she's a huge fan of true crime and has followed the Delphi case for years. She even visited the crime scene with her boyfriend and said she frequently listens to podcasts and YouTube videos discussing the murders and Richard Allen. She admitted she talked about those videos with Allen while he was her patient and told him what people were saying about him. She also admitted her fascination with the case, that fascination led her to improperly access case information about other prison inmates rumored to have possible connections to the Delphi murders, something that is strictly against department rules. So, will the cross-examination testimony be enough to discredit this very powerful testimony that we heard in court today? That will be up to the jurors. We also want to mention late this afternoon there was a major outburst in the courtroom involving one of the state's witnesses, another witness for the state that silenced the courtroom. Emily Longnecker is going to join me at 6 to tell you about that. For now, we're live in Delphi. And Scott, back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Bob. We'll check back. In the meantime, we want to get you up to date on some other developments in the case today. This coming from the defense, filing a second motion today to seek to allow their odinism theory in the trial.
Richard Allen's attorney said Abby Williams and Libby German may have been part of a ritual killing. The judge previously blocked the defense team from telling the jury about their alternative killer theory after the state argued that investigators dismissed it.
They also want to admit evidence concerning 2 people that they call, quote, third-party suspects. And we're going to take a more in-depth look at the developments in the courtroom today, as we do every weeknight during our Delphi debrief.
Bob, Emily, and our legal expert will be joining me tonight at 10 o'clock over on WTHR Plus. You can watch that every weeknight at 10 during the trial.
WTHR Plus is available on Apple TV, Roku, and on Fire Stick.